Join me as I dive into the tough conversations with mature women about their biggest regrets after divorce. And let's see if we can uncover some real insights together. When we think about mature women who've gone through divorce, we often assume that their biggest regrets are about their ex-husband or the marriage itself. But what if I told you that many of these women's regrets have nothing to do with their partner, but rather with themselves and the choices they made during that time? Today, we're going to explore those unmet expectations and life changes that lead to some of the biggest regrets these women face. Divorce can be a daunting experience, especially for women who've dedicated a significant portion of their lives to their marriage. Suddenly, they find themselves alone, facing financial uncertainty and struggling to start over. Many of them have told me that they feel like they've lost their sense of identity and purpose. They're no longer the wife, the caregiver, or the homemaker they used to be. They're forced to rediscover who they are outside of their marriage, and that can be a really challenging and frightening experience. The financial aspect of divorce can be particularly overwhelming. Many women, especially those who are stay-at-home mums, have little to no work experience or a limited social network. They're forced to start from scratch, trying to find a job, navigating the workforce and learning new skills. It's like being thrown into the deep end without any support or guidance. The pressure to provide for themselves and their families can be crushing, and it's no wonder that many of them feel anxious, depressed, or even suicidal. Starting over can be brutal, especially when it comes to dating. Many women in this age group have told me that they feel like they're not attractive anymore, or that they're too old to be desirable. They've lost confidence in themselves and their ability to attract someone new. They're worried about being alone for the rest of their lives, and that fear can be paralyzing. The emotional and psychological toll of divorce can't be overstated. Many women have shared with me that they feel like they've lost their sense of self-worth and self-confidence. They're plagued by self-doubt, anxiety, and depression. They struggle to come to terms with their new reality, and it can take years to heal and move forward. I've spoken to women who felt like they're living in a constant state of grief, mourning the loss of their marriage, their youth, and their sense of identity. One woman I spoke to shared with me that she felt like she was stuck in a state of limbo, unable to move on from her past. She said, "I feel like I'm constantly looking back, wondering what I could have done differently, what I could have said or done to make things work." Another woman shared with me that she felt like she was living someone else's life, like she was just going through the motions, but not really living. Many women have told me that they regret not standing up for themselves during their marriage, not asserting their needs and desires, and not prioritizing their own happiness and personal growth. They regret allowing their partner to control or manipulate them, and they regret not taking the time to develop their own interests and passions. They regret not being true to themselves, and that regret can be overwhelming. One of the most significant regrets that many women express is not prioritizing their own happiness and personal growth during their marriage. They felt like they were stuck in a cycle of people-pleasing, always putting others' needs before their own. They regret not taking the time to develop their own interests, pursue their own passions, and cultivate their own sense of purpose. Many women have told me that if they could go back in time, they would take the time to focus on themselves, to prioritize their own happiness, and to cultivate a sense of self-awareness and self-love. They would take risks, pursue their dreams, and not let fear hold them back. In summary, today we explored the common regrets that many mature women face after divorce. We discussed the challenges of starting over, the emotional and psychological toll of divorce, and the importance of self-reflection and personal growth. Remember, it's never too late to make a change, to take control of your life, and to prioritize your own happiness. Thanks for sharing your time with me today. If you've gone through a similar experience, please share your thoughts in the comments below. What are some of your biggest regrets after divorce? And don't forget to check out my related videos for more insights and advice on navigating life after divorce. If you haven't already, subscribe to Mum Empower Hub for more honest conversations that empower and uplifts. Together we will manage these changes with strength and grace.